been doing push-ups. I've been doing sit-ups. I've been doing chin-ups. I've been doing pull-ups. I threw up once, but I'm okay now.
What's up, everybody? It is a Monday edition of the Ysn Power Hour. DJ with you for an abbreviated edition of the Power Hour brought to you by Toyota of Warren. Why is it abbreviated? Well, simply put, we got some baseball we got to cover, and it hasn't been easy thus far to get that done. Mother Nature has not cooperated, but we look like we are going to get out on the diamond, both baseball and softball this evening. Yours truly, well, I'm going to have the call at Austintown Fitch High School. Boardman and Fitch taking on one another, and that is always must-see streaming here on the network, and we are excited to have it for you tonight. So you'll have to pardon the interruption, as we'll probably bounce a little bit early today, giving me a chance to get out there, get set up, and get you exactly what you're looking for here this evening. But we got a lot to talk about today, a lot to talk about in the way of sportsmanship. There's a lot of controversy going on over the women's NCAA championship game with LSU and Iowa and the "you can't see me" and the ring on the finger thing. We're going to talk about that because there's a lot about it, and it is becoming a very divisive topic, which that's okay. That's everybody's entitled to their opinion, right? But I want to make sure that you guys all understand one thing about this topic, and we're going to talk about it. So that's going to come up. We're also going to lead things off and talk about the great softball and baseball that's happening right now. And if you missed the Diamond, what I want to call it, the Diamond Report, the Dugout Report, the Diamond Roundup, that's what it is. The Diamond Roundup with Sam and Steve and Anthony last night. You missed a dynamite show because those three guys really dug into the area's top players, top teams, and are getting ready to explode that show each and every Sunday night, 7 to 8, right here on YSN. So we are going to definitely be part of that show and definitely just blow it up and raise it because it is going to be a great platform for student athletes, players, coaches, communities, all the stuff, the good stuff that YSN represents. So make sure if you haven't checked it out yet, go back in the archives, check it out, ysnlive.com, or check it out on our social media. I know it's on Facebook right now. Check it out. They did a great job last night breaking down. They had a starting lineup for both baseball and softball with the area's 9 best players throughout the week. I love that. I absolutely adore that. I think the other thing that they promoted big dogs from that standpoint. The one thing we're going to be adding to that is the debut, I believe, and I haven't really talked this over with them, but I think it's a great debut spot for our power rankings, which will debut this week. And I'm excited to be able to promote that because these teams need to be promoted. Spring's tough. Spring's very, very tough. One of the things we're going to talk about a little bit today is how challenging it is, especially given the weather that we've had. And if you were any part of Northeast Ohio this past week or weekend, my goodness. First off, I hope you're all okay. Secondly, whether it wanted to rain or snow or sleet or the 90 billion mile an hour winds that were happening, it was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. Mother Nature needs to take a chill pill. Just straight up needs to take a chill pill. And hopefully she's doing that. Before we get to some of the topics we are going to discuss, I'll tell you, and according to our friends over at Storm Tracker 21, we got to let you know what the weather is. Know what to expect, right? Are you going to need an umbrella? Are you going to need a jacket, a coat, a winter coat? Are you going to need some suntan lotion? Well, According to Storm Tracker 21, today, Monday, we are looking at 65 degrees as a high, 0% chance of precipitation, which is awesome. Low's 48. Tomorrow, we've got 68 degrees, low of 60, precipitation. This is why I can't be a weather guy. That and a bunch of other things. Wednesday, on the 5th, 78 degrees, 80% chance of rain. Thursday is going to be 57, so a huge drop-off. That's 20 degrees drop-off, low of 35 with 20% chance of rain. Friday, mostly sunny, 54, low of 31, no chance of rain thus far. Saturday is going to be all sun, 60 degrees, and no rain. Sunday, all sun, 67 degrees, low of 44, no rain. So the best days to get in and run your games, get to a game, support these kids and coaches. You got Monday, you got Tuesday. Wednesday is probably going to be a wash. Thursday is going to be decent, going to be a little chillier. Friday, mostly sunny, 54 degrees against 60 degrees on Saturday. And Easter is going to be beautiful, 67 degrees and sunny. So get out and support these kids, these student athletes, these coaches, these communities, these teams, because they are so good. We have a lot of great baseball and a lot of great softball that happen right here in our own backyard. Do not miss it. Do not wait for it, because if you wait, it could be too late. These teams are good. These teams are very, very good. And when we look at the standings, which Chris Sigler, key on you, buddy, because this is awesome. Let's look at the AAC first. In softball, ladies first as always. Canfield leading the way, 2-0 in the conference, 5-0 overall. We're going to hear from Coach Kernan here in a second. Then you got Austintown Fitch. I mean, as much as we're talking about Fitch, and we're going to hear from Ayla Ray and Sid Watts, as much as we're talking about Fitch, my goodness, these two teams, Canfield, Fitch, Boardman is in the talk right now. Boardman is 2-1 on the year. Fitch 4-0 overall, 2-0 in the conference. Harding is trailing with 0-2 and 1-2. Howland's in the same boat, 0-2, 1-2 on the baseball side of things in the All-American Conference. Fitch leading the way, 4-1 overall, playing some great baseball inside the conference, though 2-0. Same with Canfield, 2-0 overall and in the conference. Boardman 1-1. They're going to get their chance at Fitch tonight. Then you got Harding, who is 0-2 and 0-2. Same thing with Howland, 0-2, 0-2. Howland lost a lot last year. I'm not going to lie to you. Got to see Geb throw for the Penguins on Friday. Did a decent job. He's going to be very good. He's going to be Braden Gebhardt, by the way, not just Geb. He's going to be very, very good. He's already effective. And that Penguin team's just young. They're young, and they need the experience. They need to go through this, extend the arms a little bit. And I know one of the things that they're having problems with, their offense is there. It's the pitching that is already banged up. They're already nicked up, banged up, and looking for answers. And, Danny Bertolini having to get Travis Perry to stretch on Friday, trying to get him. They had to postpone the game a little bit, an hour 15 minutes or so, and then trying to extend him, to save the bullpen, save the arms for the weekend. They end up getting a win on Saturday, and I think they got they took an L on Sunday, but I'll have to double check that. But those are some games that you're going to have to battle with, and those are 50-50 games that this team, if they want to be successful down the road, are going to have to win. And I think everybody on that team knows that. But there were some shining moments. There were some very bright and shining moments throughout the weekend for our players, for YSU, and we're excited for that. But back to high school baseball, we heard about the All-American Conference. Let's hear about let's go EUAC for now. And most of these are updated. Well, all of these are updated on our website, ysnlive.com/standings. Let's go to softball first. United pacing the way, 2-0 in the conference, followed by East Palestine. That's 1-0. Columbiana does not have a record inside the conference, but they are 2-0 overall. Wellsville 0-1 in the conference. Latonia 0-1. Lisbon 0-2, and Southern 0-2 in the conference, the EOAC. Baseball side, Trent Newbird and the boys, the Birds, up at the top as well. They're 3-1 and overall, 2-0 in the conference. Southern Local 2-0. Then you've got Wellsville 1-0. Columbiana has not played a game in the conference, but they're 0-3 on the season. East Palestine 0-1, 1-1 overall. Latonia 0-2 and 0-3. and Lisbon 0-2 and 0-4 to start the year. From there, let's take a look at the NE8. Softball first, South Range sits atop with a 3-0 overall record as well as in the conference. Girard 2-0 and 2-0. Poland 2-0, 2-0. Lakeview is 1-1, 1-1. Struthers 0-1 and 0-1. These are all in the conference, man, except for Jefferson at the bottom. Niles is 0-2, 0-2. Hubbard 0-2, 0-2. And Jefferson is 0-2 and 1-2 overall to start their year. On the baseball side of things, Poland on top 3-0 in the conference, 3-0 overall. Girard 2-0 and 2-0. Struthers 1-0 over or in the conference, 1-1 overall. South Range 2-1 across the board. Lakeview is 1-1 across the board. 0-2 for Niles, 0-2 for Jefferson, and 0-3 for Hubbard across the board. If you want any updates on your conference, all you have to do is go to ysnlive.com/standings and check out those conference standings at the best of your ability. If you see something wrong, let us know. If you see something right, let us know about that too. It's not always great checking out all these rough emails sometimes. Here is my dude. Here's my dude. Brayton is/will be a weapon. He can only get better, and that's scary. From Mark Roth. Mark, we appreciate you so much. I'm going to miss you tonight, man. I'm going to miss you going to this Austintown Fitch/Boardman game and not having the big fella next to me and calling and just throwing a little bit of jabs here and there and talking baseball and just talking life. Mark, one of the best people I've ever met in my life. Huge supporter of YSN, my family, everything along with it. And I can't thank him enough. A wonderful family man, and a great role model in the father and / husband category. So thank you, Mark. Appreciate you. Let's get to some words from somebody other than yours truly, the dude with the bald head. Let's talk to the Austintown Fitch girls, Ayla Ray, Sydney Watts, they're absolutely on fire. Ayla Ray might be the most underrated player in the area right now. And that's saying something, because this young lady, anywhere else, I believe she would be the star of the show. And she should be, deservedly so, should be the star of the show. There are so many stars on Austintown Fitch. You might as well change their name from the Lady Falcons to the Lady Constellations, because they're just absolutely littered with stars all over the place. So let's hear Ty Bartell with an interview with Ayla and Sid. Let's hear from the Lady Falcons.
With the players of the game, the ace in the circle, Sydney Watts, and the ace of bases, Ayla Ray, here today offensively. Let's start with you, Ayla. You got that big hit in the 6th inning, got the triple, and you just kept on going. Was there any doubt in your mind that you were not scoring on that play?
No, I was scoring. I did not care I was scoring.
You are off to such an incredible start right now. I think 7 for 9 is your tally. What's been the key for you in this hot start? How well are you seeing the ball? And just talk to me about your approach going into that batter's box.
As a leadoff, I just know I have to get my team going. So I just know that I have to connect with the ball and see it well and drive in some hits.
You've always been able to connect with the ball, but now you're starting to add some punch to that as well. You're starting to drive it too, hitting it into the gaps, hitting it over the fence too. Is the power aspect something that you've worked really hard on in the offseason this year?
No, not really. I just go for contact and, the rest just comes.
The power just gets supplied naturally, no doubt. Let's talk about a power pitcher now with you, Sid. I mean, you just fanned 16 like it's nothing once again today. The strikeouts, you're up to 42 to start the season. After such a strong freshman season, talk about this sophomore season too. Was it something you wanted to improve upon that freshman season? And talk about the work that went into that offseason to get here now.
Yeah, there's always improvement that can happen, but with the offseason, I just worked to get back where I was after my injury over the fall, and it was a lot of work, but it was worth it. It's worth it.
How much work did you have to do, I guess, mentality-wise, to keep yourself mentally sharp with that? Because I know that injury was derailing you at points, but it's not derailing you now that you're out on the diamond.
A lot of it was mental, because it was really upsetting being in the booth for I was in the booth for like 8 weeks, and then coming back and not being able to pitch full. But just knowing that if things don't go my way, I have my team behind me, both offensively and defensively. It's good.
You also provided some offense, the first RBI of the game, too. Talk to me about switching on and off from offense to defense. Is there kind of a ritual or a routine that you have to get into to get in and out of the game defensively and get into the batter's box? How do you keep focus pitching-wise when you have to hit in between?
I just talked to my team. They just cheer me up a lot.
When you talk about your golden advice of hit the ball, it seems like it's working out super well, too. All your team, the team around you is hitting really well. How impressed have you been with the other freshmen and just the younger players like you were a year ago that have been able to step up and contribute to this team?
They've all been able to step up very well. I think we have a very talented group of girls, especially younger underclassmen, and everybody's just so good.
Falcons are 3-0 to start the season. They have not allowed a run defensively. Their next game scheduled with the Menor Cardinals tomorrow on Friday. We'll see if the weather holds up for that one. Until then, though, Ty Bartell with the players of the game, Ayla Ray and Sydney Watts.
So there you have it, Ty Bartell. That obviously happened on Thursday, being able to bring you some of these interviews. Here's somebody's voice other than mine. First off, the war paint is awesome. Absolutely dynamite, on point. I love seeing it. Because here's the thing. If you're not having fun, what are we doing? Why are you playing sports? That's the number one rule is get out there, have fun. Because just like last night, WrestleMania 39, if the fans know, if your parents know, if the people know that you're having fun out there, it's way more exciting. It's way more enjoyable and just more fun to watch. And it's more fun to listen to on YSN because we know you're having fun, having a good time. When you got that war paint, I mean, that's legit. That's legit. I love it. I want to see more of that. I want to see more of that. And the uniforms Fitch has. I'm a huge uni guy. Huge uni guy. I mean, I would love to have a segment on this show where it's just uniform wars and saying which one's better than which one. You know, Fitch has so many. Last year, the powder blues were absolutely my favorites. My favorite, the powder blue unis from the throwback days of Austintown Fitch, dynamite. Absolutely incredible. But there's some new uniforms out this year that are looking really good. Really good. And listen, as a guy that bleeds brown, orange, and white from the East Palestine days, the new Bulldog hats with the white, with the Bulldog on them, with the brown bill, Coach Sattler, you did an awesome job with that. And that's probably a little bit of Aaron Walker in that as well. But they look sharp, just very sharp. And I'm grateful that they sent one my way. The brown uniforms with the orange and white script Bulldogs, nice touch. Very nice touch. And then I'm going to put this out there. I texted the athletic director, Donnie Farron, South Range. Everybody knows a great relationship there. I don't think they're new, but maybe a year old. The burgundy tops for the girls with the gold sleeves. I mean, come on. They're the best uniform there. I mean, there's something about those colors together, similar to like purple and gold. When you get those colors, those dynamics together, sharp as a knife. And I'm talking Ginsu knife. Best jerseys across the board, right there. I'm stamp it. All right, let's talk to Coach Kernan, making his way back to the Valley, coaching Canfield this year. Took a year off when he left Ursuline, went down to Florida, came back. Now he's head coach there. Coach Kernan does such a good job across the board with not only helping student athletes get to the next level, but just having a great education and a great demeanor. Great coach. And here he is, Coach Kernan, talking about his team, who's off to a 5-0 start, who had to battle the elements this weekend in the Kernan Strikeout Cancer Tournament. Here we go.
Here with Mike Kernan after Canfield's first win here in the Joanne Kernan Strikeout Cancer Classic against champion 2-0. Coach Melena Toth pitched really well, kept that champion lineup off the board, and you guys scored just enough. What did you see out of your team today?
You know, that was a good pitcher we faced, and I thought our lineup got the bat on the ball fairly decent. We had some nice quality clutch hitting. Got a couple bunts down, missed a couple bunts. Put ourselves in position to, in a pressure game, to execute manufacturing runs, getting clutch hitting, and Milena kept her composure throughout and took care of business.
Couple innings there where Champion was putting people on, putting her in sticky situations. What was it about Milena that helped her stay calm and stay confident and go attack the next hitter?
Her composure, her experience. I mean, I think that's just her. She's been there. You know, she knows where she wants to be, where she wants to take this team, and she has no problem throwing the team on her back in situations and, you know, taking care of business.
All right, Coach, you got Geneva next. Right after this, doubleheader. What's that like to play two in a row?
You know, we're looking for it. You know, it's the beginning of the season, and if someone would have said this week, if you're going to end up playing 5 games after 8 days, I'd have said, I don't think so. So the fact we're being able to pull that off today is really awesome.
One last question. Obviously, you run this tournament. You've been doing it for a while. What's this mean to you to come back and at least get some games in here at McCoon Park?
It means a lot. You know, we had a little kickoff. We're able to have a little kickoff with West Branch. West Branch has always participated over the years. To experience this the first time with the Canfield girls made it a little extra special, and being able to throw some extra games in there today, just icing on the cake.
All right, Coach, thanks for the time and good luck in the next game.
Thank you very much.
So you have it, Mike Kernan, head coach of the softball side of the Canfield Cardinals. They're off to a 5-0 start, like I said, and that they could have easily just whacked that whole weekend, right? But kudos to Coach Kernan, kudos to everybody involved for making sure that there was some games played. Sunday was beautiful. Got out there. Anthony Hartwig, kudos to him, because anytime there's softball involved, my guy is all over. And of course, his mom and his brother for getting him out there and allowing you to be able to watch some of these great and supreme talents on the softball diamond. Big night on the network tonight. As far as I know, let's take a quick look and a quick tour of what we are going to have officially. Here we go. All right. So tonight we've got a lot of games going on. Let me make this a little bit bigger so I can read them. So today, Sam is going to have the Orange at Lakeside baseball game. We're going to do baseball first and make our way into softball. Sam Torres has, again, Orange at Lakeside. That game starts at 4:30. Early start to that one. Akron St. V's is going to take on Cardinal Mooney. Alec Caberna, that's going to be on scene 1. Alec Caberna is going to have that covered. I already mentioned I'll have Borman at Austintown Fitch. That game starts at 5 with the first pitch. We also have Joe Eusebio with Columbiana and Latonia. Clippers looking to get on the board here in the EOAC. That game at 5 o'clock. Then you've got Girard at Lakeview. Cooper Schiavone is going to be taking a run at that one. Welcome, Cooper, to the YSN family. Matt Morrison and Mike Wolfgang going to be out at Hubbard as they're taking on the Jefferson Falcons. That first pitch set for 5 p.m. on that one as well. Scene 3, we've got Bob Zanny taking care of the action out there, pulling at Struthers, going at it. That game at 5 o'clock as well. And another 5 o'clock game, Eric Hughes taking to scene 2 to take JFK at Ursuline. Another great matchup here on YSN. Let's take a look at the softball. Ty is going to be over in Fitch with me. He'll be looking at the Boardman girls taking on the Fitch girls about 100 yards maybe from me to my left. And then we have Anthony Hartwig taking the Jackson Milton against Western Reserve at YSU this evening as well. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I messed up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 games for you tonight on ysnlive.com. And it is going to be it's going to be a good one. It's nice to have double digits back on the docket. Love seeing that. Here we go. And Sam says, let's go. Broadcast year starts today. Broadcast year starts. What? Let's go. Broadcast year starts today. Maybe for Sam, maybe the broadcast year starts today. We're already a week in, baby. We're already a week and a half in to this bad boy. Catch up there, big fella. Come on, Torres. Yeah, let's go. I'm excited. Listening to Sam call basketball is one of the, it's the seventh wonder of the world. I absolutely love it. Just listening to him drop his dimes with his one-offs up in the great north, the wet north, I guess, the wet north. It's the great wet north, I guess. Sam, excellent show yesterday, by the way, buddy. Just excellent show. Holding it down as always. Just appreciate you so much from every different side. Broadcasting, sports, friendship across the board, man. Thank you so much. And keep up the great work. Keep up the great work. If you don't know Sam, you need to get to know him because that guy is all in on YSN. All in. Okay, so let's switch gears real quick because I said this is going to be an abbreviated show. Okay. All of yesterday evening, I'm scrolling up down my feed and I'm seeing the Iowa stuff, the Clark versus Angel. I think her last name's Reese, I want to say, for LSU. It's the you can't see me stuff. It's the I put a ring on it because LSU ended up winning the championship. It turned into this ugly, like, cultural war between people that like Caitlin Clark and people that like LSU. And it turned into a racial thing. It turned into a culture thing. It turned in. Can we just here? I've got one thing that I want to take from all of this, right? But to get there, we've got to talk through it. First off, who cares? First, like, why are we complaining about this and this when we see it every day? If John Cena literally makes money every time somebody does this. So, like, look, I just paid John Cena $5. It's some kind of AI format. Why are we worried about that? I mean, the argument I haven't heard yet is this one. If it happened in a guy's game, in any single, we're not talking about it. But we're going to hold women to that different standard of, well, they can't talk trash. They can't. No, man. Listen, anybody that's married knows my wife talks a better trash game than I do. Like, it's I don't know if it's in the DNA or what it is. It's just straight up. It's unbelievable how much attention this has received. And it is turning once again into a like you're on one side or the other. I couldn't be happier that there's trash talk in women's sports. And people are going to talk about sportsmanship. And they're going to say there's no reason to do that. Listen. Come on. This is today's day and age. Trash talk happens whether you see it or you don't. It's constant. And it doesn't mean that they don't get along off the court. In fact, I would argue that those two need each other to make the women's game better and more talked about. And that kind of rolls into what my take is on this. Everybody that's sitting there saying stuff about women's sports and, they're getting you to talk about them. It's the same as WrestleMania. It's the same as when UFC, right? When the UFC ratings are tanking, they get some loudmouth guy that goes out and says either something absolutely absurd that is going to run 24/7 for a couple days on ESPN and Fox Sports and all that, or something crazy happens. They have to be in the news cycle. I think the biggest thing about the women's tournament was it wasn't as prominently displayed in the 24-hour news cycle in sports because the guys' tournament has done so well. That's my take. That's 100% just my opinion. But as good as the women's tournament has been, the guys' tournament has been 100 times better, and it's already popular. So Caitlin Clark and the whole, there was a whole lot going on in that matchup yesterday. But the biggest thing is people are talking about women's sports. And I'm not one of those guys that believes that any pub is a good pub. That doesn't always float the boat. But what it does is it gets the engagement going. People are talking about it. And I've seen my friends say, well, she did it, so she can do it. They're both doing it. Who cares? Doesn't matter. We're talking about it. Sam says, we love it when we see the athletes celebrate. It shows that they care about what they are doing. Passion is passion, no matter if it's a guy or a girl. I love it too. I couldn't agree with you anymore, Sam. Sammy Ashton, beautiful, great dude. Then there's no way, there's no reason to get carried away with it. Now, it was taken about as far as it should have gone with the theatrics. But listen, when you win a championship, I agree. There's a lot of ways to kind of cut that cheesecake. You can either go about it like a champion, as we say, right? Wear your ring proudly, represent your team, all the good things. You're always going to have that one guy, that personality that points to the ring and, does all the goofy stuff. You need those. You need those guys. It takes a village to raise a banner, okay? It takes a village to raise a banner. And from that standpoint, the trash talk, somebody's got to close it out. Because one person talks, if they lose, guess who's going to talk back? They're going to clap back, as they say, right? That happened yesterday. Some people didn't like it. It's the same way as every single time you go in and the favorites or the people that, if it's your husband's softball team, beer league softball team, if it's your daughter's travel team, if it's your son's travel team, whatever it may be, you go in feeling pretty confident and you get smacked, right? And whether it's your kid or somebody else on their team, if the talker or the gabber sits there and goes solo, goes absolutely silent, somebody from another team's probably going to be talking at the end of that game. And then they get absolutely pounced on. Oh, you're classless. Oh, you're this. Oh, you're... No. There's a good chance that one kid on one team was talking and then got real quiet. That's what happened yesterday. I don't discriminate based on any time, but I certainly don't discriminate when we're seeing it in women's sports and we see it in guys sports every day. Every single day we see that. We see it in Major League Baseball with strikeouts. We see it in college baseball with strikeouts. We see it all the time. College basketball. There was a guy in college basketball that literally acted like he had a gun and pointed it at a bench, and nobody said anything about it. But we're going to get all hyped up over you can't see me and put a ring on it whenever she's going to get a ring. Come on. Beyonce's shaking her head. We've got to make sure that what's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? I'm not promoting that type of behavior because at the end of the day, do I want my son, do I want my daughter doing that? Not necessarily. But am I going to get mad if they do? No, I'm not, because I've been sitting, I've walked in those shoes before. I've been that guy. But I'm going to tell them, if you start it, you better finish it. If you're going to sit there and you're going to wave the old hand in front of the face after a home run, baseball etiquette tells me you're probably going to wear one of the ribs the next time through. So you better get it in good. Or if you lose and someone pops off at you, you better just bite your tongue and learn your lesson. We got all wrapped up about this, all worked up. Everybody's all lathered up about what is going on. I'm happy they're talking about women's sports. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, this never would have happened. It never would have happened. And this is not what it takes to talk about women's sports. Women's sports is awesome. I'm going to tell you with 100% honesty, my favorite time of the year are the softball championships. I absolutely adore it. Cannot get it off my television, my phone, whatever it may be. I will watch all the time. I've learned to absolutely love, because I'm going to be honest with you, it's not always watchable. and neither is guy sports. It's when there's bad teams, there's bad teams. But the level of play in girls and women's sports has gone up so much. And I think it's because the bar has been raised at every level along the way, every single level. And I'll make a comparison. It used to be commonly known that when you're watching Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown on the WWE, that when the women's match comes on, it's time to take a break. It's time to check what else is on. It's time to go take a pee break. That doesn't happen anymore, fellas. Now it's so entrenched and the matches are so good and it rolls over. It's the same with high school softball. You give me a good high school softball game and it is must-watch stream. And in the last 6 to 7 years, I've seen a huge, huge jump. And I don't know if it's due to there's a lot more girls right now that are active in sports. It's kind of the day and age that we're living in, because that's awesome. I love that. It's girls are competing with boys. Sometimes in basketball, it's we're seeing a lot more of just athletic prowess in the girls' sports circles. And that's just not locally. That's on a national level. Watch some of these sports and tell me, argue with me that it's not every bit as not only entertaining, but as skilled as the boys' sports and the men's sports. I'll debate you all day. And I'll bring a guy on in Anthony Hartwig that'll probably do the same. It is so much different than it was 10 years ago. It is way different than it was 20 years ago. And guess what? The ladies are only scratching the surface, guys. So if you think that that happened last night is a big deal, I got news for you. They're going to own the networks in 10 years. They're going to own it. It's what's going to happen because their level is only going up. And it's at some point, it's going to force the guys to move up as well. Because right now they're sitting there saying there's no one that's going to take away from the men's March Madness. There's nobody that's going to take away from the big game in the NFL. There's nobody that's, trust me, they'll find something and they're going to do it big and they're going to do it better. That's how it goes. So for everybody complaining about this, stop. Stop. It's not worth it. Just keep talking about the game. That was impressive. Impressive what they did. And more impressive that so many people were watching. Because if nobody was watching, you never would have heard anything, right? All right. We got to wrap things up because I got to go to Austintown Fitch for that game. Let's get to our Joe Dickey Electric. What's your spark? Presented by Joe Dickey Electric. Anything commercial, anything residential, anything electrical, make sure you go to DickeyElectric.com. Will you, please? All right, so we talked a little bit about WrestleMania. I've alluded to it a couple times. Listen, I've watched now 39 WrestleManias. I'm 38 years old. I had to go back. I think WrestleMania actually came out the year I was born. So I was a month, 2 months old. But I will tell you this. I've watched 39 WrestleManias to this point, and none of them, absolutely none of them, did I enjoy as much as I did last night. Because what I thought was going to be a nice time spending with my oldest, my 4-year-old, got into a little bit of a bender, got into a little bit of a bind, had some attitude adjustment, no John Cena puns necessary, and had to go to bed early, leaving the little one, the 1-year-old, the baby. And I'm telling you, this is no lie, the women's match was on, and she just kicked back, hands behind her head on the beanbag, and she just chilled and watched women's wrestling. I looked down and probably took about 50 pictures because I was never more proud in my life than my baby watching WWE. Uh-oh, world. Look out. There's another one of us coming. It was awesome. It was so cool to see it. When the match was over, she got up and walked away. Couldn't have wrote a a better script. It was awesome. So that is my spark, positive spark. Make sure all parents, right? I'm not the parent of the year that belongs to my wife every year, but I would say this: parents, make sure you know that what you do will always rub off on your kids. So make sure you're making good decisions as well, because if you're watching some of that other stuff, and people might not be agreeing with me watching WWE and professional wrestling and having my kids grow up in it, but listen, it's more for the entertainment value. It's I'm going to support them if they like it, if they don't like it, but it was pretty daggone cool that she seemed to enjoy it at the ripe old age of 1 year old. So that's going to do it for our show. Make sure, again, 10 games on tonight. Head over to ysnlive.com and get your week kick started the right way. First pitch starting at 4:30, and then we'll roll all through the night here on the network. God bless you. We will see you tomorrow right here on your sports network. Peace. YSN